Dear future generations, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say, sorry. Sorry we left you with our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our own doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing. I hope you forgive us. We just didn't realize how special the earth was. Like a marriage gone wrong, we didn't know what we had until it was gone. For example, I'm guessing you probably know it as the Amazon desert, right? Well, believe it or not, it was once called the Amazon rainforest, and there were billions of trees there, all of them gorgeous. And oh, you don't know much about trees, do you? Well, let me tell you, trees are amazing. I mean, we literally breathe the air they are creating. They clean up our pollution, our carbon. They store and purify water, give us medicine that cures our diseases, food that feeds us, which is why I'm so sorry to tell you that we burn them down. Cut them down with brutal machines, horrific, at a rate of 40 football fields every minute. That's 50% of all the trees in the world gone in the last 100 years. Why? For this. And that wouldn't make me so sad if it weren't so many pictures of leaves on it. You know, when I was a child, I read how the Native Americans had such consideration for the planet that they felt responsible for how they left the land for the next 7 generations. Which brings me great sorrow, because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we put profit above people, greed above need, the rule of gold above the golden rule. I'm sorry we use nature as a credit card with no spending limit, overdrafting animals to extinction, stealing your chance to ever see their uniqueness or become friends with them. Sorry we poison the ocean so much that you can't even swim in them. But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset, 'cause we had the nerve to call this destruction progress. Hey Fox News, if you don't think climate change is a threat, I dare you to interview the thousands of homeless people in Bangladesh. See, while you were in your penthouse nestled, their homes were literally washed away beneath their feet due to rising sea levels. And Sarah Palin, you said that you love the smell of fossil fuels. Well, I urge you to talk to the kids of Beijing who are forced to wear pollution masks just to go to school. See, you can ignore this, but the thing about truth is, it can be denied, not avoided. So I'm sorry, future generations. I'm sorry that our footprint became a sinkhole and not a garden. I'm sorry that we paid so much attention to ISIS and very little to how fast the ice is melting in the Arctic. I'm sorry we doomed you, and I'm sorry we couldn't find another planet in time to move to. You know what? Cut the beat. I'm not sorry. This future, I do not accept it, because an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How? Let me suggest that if a farmer sees a tree that is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it, they look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root, and not to the branches of government, not to the politicians run by corporations. We are the root, we are the foundation. This generation, it is up to us to take care of this planet. It is our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climate of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature, we are a part of nature. And to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us. Because whatever you're fighting for, racism or poverty, feminism, gay rights, or any type of equality, it won't matter in the least. Because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we will be equally extinct. Sorry.
We can be.
We must be
the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global goals.
A 15-year plan
for everyone, everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere
lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
Where no one
wakes in the morning
asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die
of diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world where everyone
goes to school.
And education gives us the knowledge
and skills
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive
and be powerful
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is headed back.
We will live in a world
where all people can get clean water
and proper toilets
at home, at school,
and at work.
We will live in a world where
there is sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light,
and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
A new wealth
leads to decent jobs
for everyone.
And we will live in a world
where our industry,
our infrastructure, and our
best innovations
are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
We will live in a world
where prejudices and extremes of inequality are defeated.
Inside our countries
and between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
Where we replace
what we consume.
Planet where we put back
what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back from climate change.
Where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
Where we restore and protect
life on land.
The forests,
animals, the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries and we their people
work together
in partnerships of all kinds
to make these goals a reality
for everyone, everywhere.
These are the United Nations global goals
for sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
Let's make it happen.
I'm started by, can you hear me?
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to SDGs Advocate Programme Masterclass session today. And it's going to be a fantastic time, I can promise you that. So I sincerely want to welcome you all for joining this cohort, and it's going to sincerely be an amazing time. You are going to really have a swell time engaging with our facilitators. They are ready for you. And this morning, the first session we will be having is on the evolution of sustainable development. And I believe everyone is interested, excited to get in on that topic. Yes, our facilitator is on ground and he is ready to get to the matter. Okay, so On behalf of the leadership of SDSN, I want to welcome each and every one of you for joining this session. And yes, we are started. We're going to get right to it as we speak. So very quickly, I just want to introduce our facilitator to you. His name is Kayode Ogunleye. Kayode Ogunleye. Kayode Ogunleye is a young, passionate individual with a keen interest in data protection, product design, law, social impact, and a strong will to make the world a better place. A strong will to make the world a better place. A dynamic lawyer, he also just completed a certificate program in the University of Pennsylvania on privacy and data protection. Okay, Kayode is an enthusiast of data protection, and is particular about solving problems. Kayode has a good grasp of the creative, innovative thinking process, with which is one of the skills leverages to help organizations work through creating solutions that meet customer and client needs. Kayode is an advocate of sustainable development and is the senior fellow at Sustainable Development Network, an organization pushing the frontiers of sustainable joy in your heart. And welcome Gunleye as he takes the session.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Adebayo. Thank you for the astute introduction, and really glad with the work that you do with the UN. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this opportunity to adduce value and impact on the long run, which is what drives me, the opportunity to always adduce value at every opportunity I get. So it's a good one to be present here today and to shed more light on, just briefly, on the evolution and the concept of the SDGs, sustainable development. Without further ado, I don't know if it's pertinent for me to go ahead to share my screen. I'm Mr. Adebayo.
Sorry, I didn't get you. My network was a bit bad.
So I said that, can I go ahead to share my screen?
Yes, please. A bulk of our participants are on YouTube, so they are streaming from there.
Okay.
Apologies, I think Kyrie is having a bit of network issue. He'll be with us shortly.
So let me go ahead with the presentation. I don't know if Mr. Adebayo, I don't know if I'm clear enough and everyone can hear me. Sorry for the
Yes. You are clear enough. You can start now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. We are seeing your screen.
So I'm facilitating the session for the evolution and concept of sustainable development. And sustainable development, as we all know, has been like a very, very primary conversation that the world has tilted towards, really putting into consideration how it has really affected, directly or indirectly affected, the ecosystem and society at large. And so we find everyone tilting towards how we can all push towards having a sustainable developed society and push from an underdeveloped society to a sustainable developed society like we have in other institutions. So introduction. Sustainable development is a widely discussed concept in contemporary discourse, representing a balance between economic growth, social equity, and environmental protection. So it's pertinent to identify the fact that most of the institutions or countries that we find to be sustainably developed today are institutions that have been able to strike a balance between economic growth, social equity, and environmental protection. Although everyone still tilting towards achieving these goals come 2030, but like some institutions have stood out and have achieved great stride and giant stride in that regard. The concept of sustainable development emerged in the 20th century as a response to growing environmental concerns. Now, this presentation delves into the evolution and the core principles of sustainable development. So we're going straight into the evolution of sustainable development. Although it looks more like the concept of sustainable development, the conversations around sustainable development kicked off a couple of years back, but not, but that's not true. The concept of sustainable development has been for a very long time, and the first movement here is the early environmental movement, which was around the 19th to 20th century, where the roots of sustainable development can be traced back to early environmental movements, including the conservation efforts of individuals like John Muir and the establishment of national parks and protected areas. The concept of sustainable development, as we all know, was primarily focused on environmental issues initially before the social and the economic niche started developing, and it was just very, very pertinent for everyone to be able to identify the fact that there needs to be a striking balance between all facets of society, come environment, come social, come economic. And that leads us to the next industrial revolution, which was between the 18th and 19th century. This was when there was rapid technological advancement. Urbanization also was in line. There was more of technology. People were beginning to do things related to science and was beginning to look, oh, like there's development. But on the other hand, the negative effects of those technological advancements began to tell the society, and that's where there was environmental degradation, there was pollution, there was social inequalities, and that prompted calls for more sustainable approaches to development. So in as much as countries have always tilted towards achieving giant strides with regards to technological advancement, it was just pertinent to address the fact that these technological advancements also place or have the negative values that needs to be addressed, or in the long run we're going to lose our society, and there isn't going to be a baton that's going to be passed on to future generations to come. So the United Nations, which we all know as a pioneer for pushing social change and for pushing sustainable development for both developing and underdeveloped countries, kicked off the environmental awareness program in 20th century, where the promoted environmental awareness and sustainability through initiatives as the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, which is a very, very prominent program that we all know, which also pushed for international cooperation, because now we have two societies, both the developed and the underdeveloped societies, and now the developed societies now have to it needs to be like a collaborative effort between both societies to achieve the growth or development that all societies are looking towards. So it was the United Nations that push the agenda for cooperation, for collaboration in achieving these sustainable development goals. We have the Brundtland Report, we have the Agenda 21 and Earth Summit 1922, which is also the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. Please, let's also remember that I said that at the initial stage, the concept of sustainable development was primarily focused on environment before the need for social and the economic facets of society had to be put also in place. Now, we also have the MDGs before we now have the SDGs, which is the Millennium Development Goals, which was adopted by world leaders in 2000, focusing on eradicating poverty, improving healthcare, promoting education, and social and economic objectives by 2015. Now, this was what founded or formulated the 17 goals that we have today, from the MDGs to the SDGs. So the next one is the SDGs. We're building on the MDGs, which is like the foundational stance for the Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations adopted the SDGs in 2015. The 17 SDGs encompass a broad range of economic, social, and environmental objectives, including poverty eradication, climate action, sustainable cities, and responsible consumption. The SDGs provide a comprehensive framework for achieving sustainable development by 2030. The goal primarily set up by the United Nations is come 2030, which is in 6 years' time. Both underdeveloped countries and developed countries will have created like a very good, strong collaborated effort or cooperative effort towards achieving sustainable development at all levels for both developing countries and underdeveloping countries, like Nigeria now, where we're having issues with resources like financial resources, or we don't have the due expertise to push for the sustainable development growth that we seek. The collaborative efforts or the cooperational values that we get from the developed countries will help in achieving this come 2030. I just hope that's possible. Although there's vision for 2050, people are still pushing out for more visionary goals that can be achieved within a very specific time frame set up. So throughout its evolution, sustainable development has evolved from a primarily environmental concern to an holistic approach that integrates environmental, social, and economic dimensions. He emphasizes the need to balance human development with environmental protection and social equity to ensure a prosperous and sustainable future for all. So now this just shows that the 17 goals encompasses and integrates both the environmental, social, and economic dimensions, cutting across zero hunger, no poverty, life underwater, life on land, gender equality, climate change, business partnerships. All this just provides an holistic approach to the concept of sustainable development, putting in consideration that the concept of environmental, social, and economic dimensions are duly integrated into the concept of sustainable development goals. So I'm moving to the primarily core principles of sustainable development goals. There are core principles that formulates or that serves as benchmark or the pillars that hold sustainable development. And the first is environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability, this principle emphasizes the importance of protecting and preserving natural resources and ecosystems, as the word already posits the fact that environment sustainability, two words coming together. So it's more like achieving sustainability across all facets of the environment, where there's a balance, minimal harm is done to the environment. There's promotion of conservation. There's a long-term viability of natural systems for future generations, for generations yet unborn, that the resources that we have now will be conserved, with the environment to be duly taken care of. That's one of the four core principles of the Sustainable Development Goals. Also, social equity. Social equity, as I have here, involves ensuring fair distribution of resources, opportunities, and benefits among all members of society, irrespective of factors like gender, ethnicity, social economic status. If you pay close attention to this, you will see that these principles are what's formulated the 17 goals as we have today. You can there's an interconnectivity that comes alongside the goals that we have, and with this core three principles cutting across environmental sustainability, social equity that deals with balance, that deals with gender equality, and making sure that resources are thereby provided for every pertinent individual of the society. So it seeks to address issues of inequality, poverty, and social exclusion, promoting inclusivity and justice for all. Economic prosperity, which is the last one. Sustainable development recognizes the need for economic growth and prosperity, but in a way that is inclusive, resilient, and environmentally responsible. It involves fostering economic systems that generate wealth and improve quality of life while minimizing negative impacts on the environment and society, and ensuring that economic benefits are distributed fairly. Now, these three principles are often depicted as the three bottom line, emphasizing the interconnectedness and interdependence of environmental, social, and economic factors in achieving the sustainable development. So it just boils down to the fact that these factors have to work in tandem. There needs to be a sync between the environmental, social, and economic factors of society in achieving sustainable development goals. There needs to be a striking balance in achieving the SDGs come 2030. So moving further, okay, now my next slide talks about the challenges and the opportunities that comes with regards to sustainable development. There's no intuitive idea, or there's no vision that does not bet the need for challenges and opportunities that come alongside it. So challenges and opportunities in sustainable development are multifaceted and dynamic, encompassing various aspects of economic, environmental, social, and economic dimensions. Now, here are some key challenges and opportunities. Now, one of the major core challenge that we face, usually globally, because there's a transnational relationship, that there's no limit to how climate change is affecting everybody. There's no, oh, it's affecting just the underdeveloped and leaving out the developed countries. It's affecting everybody. So there's no limit. So it's a major challenge that is being faced by major institutions, both underdeveloped and developing countries. And it's a major challenge as we have for sustainable development, which deals with mitigating and adapting to climate change, remains one of the most pressing challenges. Rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and sea level rise threaten ecosystems, communities, and economies worldwide. It's just so hard trying to adjust or adapt to the recent climate change, the recent changes with regards to climate change and atmospheric conditions, especially for underdeveloped countries that don't have the necessary resources or the finance to be able to cater when these challenges erupt, like in this instance of flood, in the instance of erosion, where there's no affordable housing for those that are affected by these flooding events or these negative effects of climate change. We as underdeveloped countries are still struggling to be able to mitigate and adapt to climate change. Especially in Lagos now, where you see that the weather is so hot, people are complaining. There's increase in heat wave. These are some of the challenges that come with climate change. There's resource depletion of natural resources, including water, forest, minerals, and fossil fuels, poses a significant challenge. Unsustainable consumption patterns and extraction practices exacerbate these issues, leading to environmental degradation and loss of biodiversity. Now, it's obvious that most of our natural resources are being depleted, water, forest, minerals, with a lot of things that are not right are currently going on, especially in society where nature is not being given so much value. Water, forest, and the little things that have been provided by God that we're meant to push further to future generations who don't exactly have these resources anymore. So there's resource depletion. Also, in the instance of social inequity as a challenge, um, such as poverty, discrimination, and lack of access to basic services and opportunities. This also remains a challenge. Disparities in income, education, healthcare, and employment hinder progress towards sustainable development goals. Putting into consideration that not everyone can afford good education, not everyone can afford healthcare, not everyone can say has a very good job to their name, but not everyone can say, oh, they are earning above minimum wage wherever they're working. So is an hindrance, is a challenge to achieving sustainable development, because sustainable development is very keen on balance. There needs to be balance, there needs to be equality cutting across all facets, all individuals of society. But putting into consideration the disparities that come in line with income, education, healthcare, and employment, it hinders progress towards achieving the SDGs, towards achieving sustainable development goals. That is why it's pertinent for us to address these issues now that it's within our curtail to address them till they go out of hand, and so it's become too difficult to be able to address these issues. Also, another challenge is the challenge of overpopulation and urbanization. Now, rapid population growth and urbanization strain resources and infrastructure, like Nigeria, where we have over 200 million people. Now, put into consideration the little resources we have shared amongst over 200 million people. How is that going to sufficiently go around, or how is that going to be enough to cater for 200 million people? So is a huge challenge, leading to issues like overcrowding, inadequate housing, as I earlier mentioned, pollution, and increased demand for energy and transportation. Everyone wants to move from one point to another point using fossil fuel generated vehicles, not putting into consideration renewable energy like solar power vehicles or all of that. So like I feel like society is a very huge mess right now, and put into consideration overpopulation and urbanization. Also, political will and governance. Achieving, which is a very huge problem, achieving sustainable development requires strong political will, effective governance structure, and policies that integrate environmental, social, and economic considerations. However, political inertia, corruption, and short-term interest often hinder progress. Kudos to the recent government. The last COP that I held last year at UAE, we saw the massive inclusion of Nigerians at Dubai who were willing to push towards achieving a better society at the Conference of Parties held last year. So, like, there needs to be a very good, there needs to be a government that is willing to help and to advance the issue of sustainable development. Otherwise, we're going to keep stalling in that regard. I think, okay. Okay. Opportunities, yes. So now the opportunities that lies with sustainable development now are innovation and technology. Now, advances in technology, including renewable energy, solar, clean transportation, sustainable agriculture, and waste management, offer opportunities to address sustainability challenges. Investing in research and development can spur innovation and create new business opportunities. So, in as much as the challenges linger as regards society that we find ourselves in, there are still lingering opportunities for everyone to latch onto. So there's always both negative and positive side to everything in life. So it's pertinent to identify the fact that innovation and technology still plays a huge role and still serves as a major opportunity with regards to sustainable development. As long as your goal or as long as your initiative is to drive innovation, is to promote advancement of technology, I'm sure there are more business opportunities, there are more development that can support innovation in that regard. So it's important for young individuals like us to key into that regard where we can help push towards innovation, can help push towards renewable energy, we can help push towards clean transportation. We see what Tesla is doing. We see what Lagos State government is doing with the solar panel buses they're bringing to. So there are these opportunities that we can all key into, either it being research, either it being waste management, either it being which maybe recycling. It could be any facet that deals with innovation or technology. There are opportunities that young individuals can key into. Also, another opportunity to address is the collaborative partnerships. Collaboration has always been a very huge factor towards pushing and promoting sustainable development. So it's key for young individuals not to shy off from collaboration, not to shy off from networking, because you can't solve your problems alone. You need the hands or you need the expertise of some other individuals to help achieve your goals or to help you streamline your success to a very defined state. So collaboration amongst government, amongst business, civil society organizations, academia, and local communities is essential for addressing complex sustainability issues. So it's important that it's collaboration cutting across the facets of government, of corporate organizations, of businesses, civil society organizations like ours, is pertinent for us to push into consideration collaboration, partnerships, cooperation, as that will help leverage expertise, resources, and also drive network for collective action and achieve shared goals. Now, having a circular economy, transitioning towards a circular economy where resources are reused, recycled, and regenerated presents opportunities to reduce waste. Now, I think that's another angle to put into consideration. I'll find this more in developed countries where they are operating on a circular economy, where resources are being reused, they are being recycled, and being regenerated to help present opportunities to reduce waste, to conserve resources, and to minimize environmental impacts, either pollution, diet, waste. So adopting circular business models can enhance efficiency and resilience while creating value. So in as much as we are manufacturing or producing, we should place ourselves in a state of a circular economy, operate and adopt circular business model that can enhance efficiency regardless of whatever we are doing or whatever we find ourselves doing. Green finance and investment, that's another very huge opportunity as regards sustainable development. As we have government, we have well-meaning philanthropists, we have countries that keep churning out huge sum of money every year, some 6 months, towards achieving sustainable development. So is a very important area of sustainable development, which is green finance and investment. In as much as it's not a get rich quick scheme, you need to be able to put in the work so that you can attract funding in that regard. So it's very important for young individuals to be willing to put in the work to attract and to achieve the growth and development that we are looking out for, or that investors are looking out for, that philanthropists are looking out for, that well-meaning Nigerians or individuals are looking out for. So increasing investment, sustainable development, sustainable projects, and green technologies can accelerate the transition towards a low carbon, resource efficient economy. Financial instruments like green bonds, impact investing, and carbon pricing mechanism incentivize sustainable practices and support climate resilience. So it's just as I earlier stated, we need to be able to key into increasing investment in sustainable projects. So when you have sustainable projects, it could be projects that deals with renewable energy, it could be project that deals with recycling or upcycling, as long as you are able to show value. There are existing financial instruments like green bonds, that will help incentivize your sustainable practices and support climate resilience. And lastly is education and awareness. Raising awareness and promoting education about sustainable development principles and practices can empower individuals, communities, and businesses to make informed decisions. So if the level of education, level of awareness will help make individuals make informed decisions and take actions. A lot of people are ignorant of a lot of things that is currently happening in our society today, and that has served as a very huge loophole in the fact that we are driving towards achieving sustainable development. You hear people, oh, what is climate change? They don't know what climate change is all about. They don't know what recycling is all about. They don't know what renewable energy is all about. So it's very important for us to key into the opportunity of education. So as a young individual, and they're thinking of, oh, I'm thinking of an initiative or something that you want to do to help push sustainable development. Education is a very, very key area of SDGs, of the SDGs. A lot of people don't even have access to educational material. So it's an area that you key into, and you should be able to liberate people's mindset, able to make them understand that the issues that are happening now are issues that are going to affect us. If we're not even yet seeing the direct impact of these things, in the nearest future, we might not even have a society to hold on to. So it's very important for us to key into these opportunities as we have them set out. So addressing these challenges and seizing opportunities requires concerted efforts, long-term commitment, and transformative actions at both local, national, and global levels. So you don't limit yourself to the society you find yourself. The opportunities are everywhere, locally, nationally, at global levels. You should be willing to integrate environmental, social, and economic considerations into whatever initiative that you're doing, and to be able to create a more equitable, resilient, and prosperous future for all. I think if we are able to put into consideration these factors, we should be able to thrive as regards to sustainable development goals. So lastly is my conclusion. So conclusively, sustainable development is a dynamic and complex concept that requires collective action and commitment from government, business, civil society, and individuals. So it's a collaborative effort, it's a collective effort, it's a cooperative effort. Everyone needs to sit at the round table to be able to show they need to solve these issues. They need to solve this problem of climate change. They need to solve the problem of zero hunger. They need to solve the problem of no poverty. They need to come. We need to come together to solve the problem of gender equality, and as all the 17 SDGs as we have. So we need the government. We need civil societies. We need well many individuals to all come together in addressing these dynamic and complex concepts that requires collective effort and collaborative effort from our end. Lastly, it's embracing sustainability principles. We can create a more equitable, resilient, and prosperous future for generations to come, as long as we embrace the sustainability principles, as I earlier mentioned, which are environmental sustainability, social equity, and economic prosperity. This comes to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. And this time is time for questions for those that have questions, so that I can get to them as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kayode. Very fantastic presentation, I must say. And I believe that our advocates have also learned a great deal. Thank you so much. Yes, so concise, and very explanatory. I believe everyone would have a better grasp of the evolution of sustainable development, even as you have shared with us this morning. Thank you so much. We are indeed very, very grateful. So before we move to questions, I want to quickly appreciate the presence of the representative from SDGs Lagos, Mrs. Mrs. Yemisi Lawa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for representing the Office of SDGs Lagos State. We are delighted to have you. We are so glad you can join us, and we celebrate you and the
Thank
work
you
you
so
do.
much, so much for having me. I'm happy to be part of this very laudable event. It's been very insightful. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you so much for coming, man. We really appreciate you. And our love to the Office of SDGs in Lagos State.
All right, I'll give your love to them. Thank you.
Yes. So very quickly, if you have questions, please, you can drop your questions so that we can pick them one after the other and begin to have Coyote attend to them. So please, it's important that at this point, your questions start to come in. And yes, I also want you to know that you'll get the presentation slide after now. So please, you can go through it over and over again so that you are well grounded in the things that you have learned. But we can assure you that the presentation slide will get to you in the shortest possible time. All right. Yeah, so questions, please, questions. All right, so I think I have some questions. Apologies, 1 minute, please. Please go ahead with the questions, please. Okay, so somebody's asking about overpopulation and urbanization. How can it be solved using the SDGs?
Sorry, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I think primarily, I think that comes to policy formulation. There needs to be policy. There needs to be policies in place by governmental institutions, government itself, to be able to cushion the effect of overpopulation as we have it currently in underdeveloped countries around the world. So it's very important and pertinent for government institutions and government bodies to put policies, not just putting policies, but policies that can be executed, that can be streamlined and duly followed so that it could help towards making sure that the limited resources that we have can be sufficiently enough for the set out individuals that we have. But it's just so sad because in this part of the world where we have like there are no existing policies to help cushion the effect. So everyone is just giving, there's no birth control, everyone is just putting back, just giving birth, which has limited the it has served as a limiting stance to the resources that are duly available that we have at our hands or by ourselves. So is an issue of policy, and I think that's very, very important to know that. Now that's where the collaboration of well-meaning individuals and government needs to come in that regard, to be able to think or brainstorm about policies that will help streamline the effect of overpopulation and urbanization. So I hope I was able to answer that question. If that has been done, then it will help in creating like a balance as in the core principles as earlier stated, economic, social, and environmental principles or values that we have dealing with. So it's important that policies are put in place, not just policies, but policies that are duly executed, are duly followed by, to help cushion the effect of overpopulation and urbanization in achieving the sustainable development goals. Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. So another question is here. It says, social inequality. Employment was mentioned to hinder progress towards SDGs. So like how does unemployment affect the SDGs rather?
Okay, now, so in the SDGs, we have 17. There's where there's zero hunger, there's where there's no poverty. Now, in the instance where individuals don't have a job adduced to their name, how are they going to be able to fend for themselves or be able to at least attain some level of living whereby they are not facing any cause of hunger, or they don't stride within the balance of or purport of poverty? So you see that it's very, very important that there needs to be a lot of job opportunities so that individuals can be able to cushion the effect or the economic effect of poverty or of hunger. So it's very, very important that having jobs or having something worth doing to be able to fend for one's needs is important in achieving the sustainable development goals. And that's now the duty of everyone, both as entrepreneurs, both as government institutions, both as well-meaning individuals, to be able to provide value, to be able to adduce value so that a lot of individuals can fit into that line. You find out that a lot of people come or put up in the initiatives, or I'm doing this, then they employ 5,000 people. They're helping to eradicate the issue of hunger, they're helping to eradicate the issue of poverty. So now, if those jobs are not in line, it will be so adherent that it will be very hard to take out poverty or take out hunger from the land, as we know how recessive the economy of Nigeria has been so far. So in the instance where there are no job opportunities, people don't even have anything that they are doing, they are just going to lay back on other means of income, which might be fraudulent or whatsoever you might have it. But it's just important that there are existing job opportunities that can help cushion the effect of hunger, that can help cushion the effect of poverty. So that's why it's very pertinent to understand the fact that having job opportunities is very key in achieving a sustainable developed society. Job opportunity is very, very important, and balance is there needs to be balance. So the balance has to strive across social, economic, and environmental facets of society. So it's important that there are job opportunities available for individuals to help cushion the effect of poverty and hunger in society. Yes, so it's very, very important.
All right, thank you so much, Kaide, for that response. There's another question here that says, does it mean that SDGs become outdated in 2030? and the need to formulate others. So meaning after 2030, is that going to be the end to SDGs? And would there be like another initiative or another project that's been done?
Okay, no, that can't be the end of SDGs. That's why we have about 6 years to the timeline set up by UN to elapse, which is 2030. But you see, well-meaning stakeholders coming together and saying, "Oh no, we cannot. It's almost impossible to achieve these goals come 2030." Now there's vision for 2050. So now they are increasing the time frame or the stipulated timeline in achieving these goals. Now, let's use Nigeria as an example. Nigeria is not even close to being a sustainable developed state. So, in the course of 6 years, it's almost impossible to even achieve the 17 goals integrated into the society at all levels. So, it's important to know that the goals are not stopping in 2030. There are discussions that are ongoing. 2050 vision 2050 is in line. People are talking about, oh, let's extend this time, let's pump in more green finance, let's make sure that it's possible for especially underdeveloped countries to be able to get to a certain level, to be able to say, okay, there's a balanced society. And so 2030 is no longer the goal anymore. So we're looking forward towards 2050. So it's very pertinent to understand the fact that as individuals, don't zero mind to 2030, as it's almost impossible to achieve the SDG goals come 2030. So we're looking for the next 20-25 years. So the SDGs don't end in 2030. Looking forward to having more time to striving for balance at all levels and facets of society, basically. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So there's a lot of questions here. Like if we keep asking and giving answers, we will not leave this place today. So this one says, what are the positive and negative effects of industrial revolution on the evolution and concept of sustainable development? I don't know if you got that question, but if you want me to take it again, I will do that. Says, Yes, I'm doing that. What are the positive and negative effects of industrial revolution on the evolution and concept of sustainable development?
Okay, now, so in the Industrial Revolution, which was within the 18th and 19th century, you understand the fact that was when there was science was very, very prominent. People were beginning to push for a different way of doing things, so they started using technology. So it led to rapid technological advancement, which is a very major positive light in that regard. But in the instance of the positivity that came with the rapid technological advancement, there were negative sides, because now industrialization was very, very prominent at that time. But we understood that at the point where there was industrialization, people were beginning to were setting up refineries, were setting up production plants. We saw that this technological began to affect the society on the long run. That's why we now start having the negative side, which dealt with pollution. So now there's no way you are going to have a refinery and you're not going to be polluting the airspace. It's almost impossible. We saw that the environment was duly degraded because of the chemical reactions of the chemicals that are being produced at the refineries, affecting or causing an adverse effect on society. So it was just important to look for a better approach towards cushioning the effect of the technology advancement or the industrial level or industrial revolution at that time. So in as much as the industrial revolution came with so much light, with so much positivity, it brought its own negative effect. There were a lot of negative effects. There was pollution, there was social inequality, there was environmental degradation. So it's just pertinent for as individuals to be able to look or tilt towards more sustainable approaches towards development. So that's why you see that we are now using different ways or methods towards doing things. So you that used to emit with the use of fossil fuels, you're emitting bad gaseous substances into the air. That's why renewable energy is coming to light. That's why you have solar. That's why people are beginning to think of better ways to do things, because we noticed that, the use of fossil fuel, this is what this is doing to the society. This is what this is the adverse effect it's having in society. So it's not better for us to do things better, so that at least in the next few years we still have a society to hold on to, or our future generations will still have something to live by. So it was just that the industrial revolution at that time brought both positive and negative um, effect towards achieving sustainable development goals. So, but currently, as individuals, putting contribution, change, and advancement and development, is just important that there are better ways to do those things, and that's why I earlier mentioned the issue of renewable energy sources like solar. So yes, I hope I was able to answer that question properly.
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much, Kayode. At this point, I just want to, on behalf of the leadership of SDSN, sincerely thank you for taking our time to facilitate this session. We are indeed grateful. Thank you for, out of your busy schedule, you were able to create time for the advocates and add your own contribution to making them the best that they can be. Thank you very much, Kayode, for that. We are indeed very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right. So to every advocate, I believe you have had a very, very good time listening and gleaning from the wealth of experience of Coyote this morning. And it's been truly phenomenal and fantastic. So please do well to go back to the things you have learned. It's important that you learn over and over again on your own. You actually internalize the things that has been taught this morning. And to that end, I would say you have a task of the week that has to be submitted before 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. And that task is for you to go to the social media platforms and actually highlight the important things you have learned from this session today and tag SDSN Nigeria. That is your attendance for today. That is how we will know that you are a part of this session this morning. So ensure you have that done because definitely it's going to be a part of the things that we'll use to evaluate you. So thank you for joining the session. Every other thing will be communicated to you via email, and we would have the next session in a few minutes from now. So just want to have you prepare your mind and get water if you want. Just take a little water to cool down from this that you've had now, and we'll move on. We'll definitely move on. All right, guys.
We can be.
We must be
the first generation to end extreme poverty,
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global goals.
a 15-year plan
For everyone. Everywhere.
with no one left behind.
We will live in a world
Where nobody
Anywhere
Lives in extreme poverty.
where no one
goes hungry.
where no one wakes in the morning
Asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die.
Diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world where
everyone goes to school.
and education gives us the knowledge
And skills.
For a fulfilling life.
we will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive
and be powerful.
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is headed back.
We will live in a world
Where all people can get clean water.
and proper toilets
at home, at school, and at work.
We will live in a world
where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
heat, light,
And power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
A new wealth
Lead to decent jobs
For everyone.
and we will live in a world where our industry,
our infrastructure and our
best innovations
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
We will live in a world
where prejudices and extremes of inequality
Are defeated.
Inside our countries,
And between different countries.
where people live in cities and communities
That are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
what we consume.
Planet where we put back what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back from climate
change.
where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
restore,
and protect
Life on land,
The forests,
animals,
the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
with everyone equal before the law.
where all countries and we their people,
Work together.
partnerships of all kinds,
To make these goals a reality. For everyone, everywhere.
These are the United Nations global goals.
for sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
Let's make it happen.
How do we create a future in which both people and nature can thrive? This
All right. Our next facilitator is here, and we are delighted to have you in the house. Thank you, Isaiah, for joining the session this morning. And I must be sincere, I trust it's going to be a fantastic session. Okay, without wasting any time, because we are a bit behind schedule, I'll just I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the leadership of taking out time out of your busy schedule. And this morning, Fisayo Adeyemi will be taking us on renewable energy and green economy. And I'll just read very quickly the bio of Fisayo. Fisayo is a passionate individual, is passionate about clean energy and accelerating the world's transition to clean energy, which ultimately creates prosperity for all. He has a strong academic background and a solid track record delivering projects in information technology, clean energy, artificial intelligence, and oil and gas. He is currently pursuing a Master's of Engineering in Clean Energy Engineering at the University of British Columbia, and he has completed postgraduate programs from Ivy League universities like MIT, Disruptive Technologies and in Artificial Intelligence at the University of Texas at Austin. He has spoken on notable global stages such as the United Nations, IBM Dubai, and the Society of Petroleum Engineering International. In 2023, he was invited by MIT Club to speak in the United States of America. So Fisayo is a seasoned individual when it comes to renewable energy, and we are privileged to have him in the house this morning. So very quickly, I'll just like him to kick off this session. Can we welcome Fisayo with a round of applause? Let's give him a warm welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, Fisayo, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Let me fix that. Well, thank you for the warm welcome. I'm just getting my video set up. And okay. Awesome. So let me know if it's all good. Is it all better now?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, great. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you to the organizers of the program for inviting me. I think it is very important, more than ever before, for us to consider renewable energy. I used to have a very fun fact and just say that I believe every roof in Africa should be covered with a solar panel. If that were possible, that would be fantastic. That would be free, clean energy for not just Africa, but for the whole planet Earth. So thank you so much to the organizers for putting this together, for making it possible. I just wanted to ask, how long is this session so that I know how to pace, just pace the time?
So, you have 45 minutes to run, and then after that we do a Q&A for 15 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes to run, then Q&A. So I normally take sessions as interactive, actually. I normally take sessions as interactive because I believe that's the best way that people learn and remember what it is that they actually came to learn. So I was excited to read about SDSN. I think I've interfaced with some of the leadership members when we're preparing towards COP27, COP26, COP28, and it's just been great seeing and following the work. I think the team is doing very good work so far. So congratulations to the team. Well done. I'd like to just open up with a question, actually. Do we believe that it's possible to power the entire planet with clean energy? So I'm the kind of person that loves to get feedback from the attendees. So I'd like to hear your thoughts. If you're feeling happy and confident to speak, I don't know if they're able to speak. Are they able to unmute themselves, Joseph?
All right. So this is what is happening right now. We are streaming to YouTube. So a bulk of like the Advocate YouTube, yes. Except you can now have your YouTube and you read questions from there, or we can do it from the back of the air. So, and I know that that's going to be some.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's going to be a stretch, and okay. I might just have to then adapt the content of my delivery. Okay. No problem, no worries. Thank you so much for that. I believe I thought it was going to be very interactive, so that I'll get the opportunity to speak to some of you, but because we are not able to do that right now because of some constraints. So what I'm going to do is if there's a way to see those comments, I think it will also be very helpful. But today the topic essentially is really renewable energy and green economy. And we're going to be spending 45 minutes, number one, talking about what a green economy is, really. Most of us, we've probably heard the term thrown around by maybe some experts in the field, but you've been asking the question, what really is green economy? What really is renewable energy? Uh, at this point, if it was interactive, I would have loved to ask, for example, is nuclear energy clean energy? Right? And I would have invited some participation from the audience to kind of get people's thoughts. Then is there a difference between clean energy and renewable energy? And you will be surprised how important these terms are when you are how important these terms are when you are going to
People are beginning to respond via YouTube and
okay.
Yes. So a
Is there a
lot
way I
of
can get that link? Maybe I can just put it up on my
definitely
iPad.
I'll send it to you as we speak. I'll send it.
Okay. So if you just share it with me, I can see some of the comments on YouTube, and I can also interact through progs. Yeah, does that make sense? Does that sound good?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, so before I show any presentation slides, I think very good use of your time is actually getting real value. So if you're going for a conference, for example, you see a conference and you get the opportunity to either speak or to attend as an attendee, and you get called to the stage. What is the difference between renewable energy, if there is, and clean energy? And non-renewable energy, how do you classify them? How do you define it? And these things become very important at the strategic and global level, because then you have people who are policymakers making policies about energy, renewable energy, and the economy. One thing that really stands out is Nigeria. So do we know what Nigeria's transition plan, for example, to a low carbon economy or to net zero is? What's formed that kind of policy? Is the energy that we are focusing on, is it clean energy or is it renewable energy? And these things are very important. Like I said, they might seem trivial. It might seem like I'm making things oversimplified. But at the core of it, if you understand these things at a very foundational level, you are able to have higher level discussions. So I think I just grabbed the link. If you give me like maybe a minute or two, I would be able to Just give me a minute. Let me open up that link and see some of your responses. Awesome. Okay, so it's coming up. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, yeah, so I see our comments. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, okay, okay. All right, so I see some people saying yes and no. It's not possible to power the world with clean energy. I see some people saying yes, it can be done. I see some people saying super possible. Okay, okay, absolutely possible. Yes, okay. I think I'm getting more positive confirmations than negative ones. So, of course, it comes down to determining the mindset from the stakeholders. Okay, I believe, but I don't think Africans can afford it. So we have come into the issue of affordability. It's left for individuals to implement. Okay, okay, okay. Please, can you share your screen? Okay, yes, 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 yes. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. If people can put their selfish interest aside, we can definitely have clean energy. Okay, okay, okay. It's possible with the right policies. Fantastic. Clean energy is very wonderful and it's possible. Okay, okay. I'm getting good insights. Renewable energy is the same as clean energy, and that's because it's green. Awesome. Okay. So I just wanted to get a feel of what people are saying in the room, and just a bit of background. I know Joseph, you did a fantastic job introducing me. I've spent a while in the energy space. I started from petroleum engineering actually. Then I worked in two oil companies, an oil company in Nigeria. And then I went on to the clean energy field. I started from solar installations, just supervising some solar projects, mini grid projects. Then now I'm actually based out of Canada and pursuing a Master of Clean Energy Engineering leadership. So at this location, just like in California, you have a lot of policy. Almost all the cars are electric, and you have the government, using terms like clean energy. What does it mean? I know we are in Nigeria. I spent more than 22 years of my life actually in Nigeria, and what I noticed was, fossil fuels actually power the economy. How do we practically, one, understand this clean energy, two, get into clean energy, and three, how can the average person actually get the benefits of energy? So I think it's interesting that we all have our comments in place. Okay, okay, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Okay, I might not be able to go into all of them. I see a lot of debate. So let me just put some debate to the rest. So clean, renewable energy comes from obviously sources that can be replenished very quickly within a time frame of like human life. So for example, if you use wind, you can still use wind again tomorrow and it's not going to finish, right? You keep getting that wind. But if you say that petroleum, it takes a while for you to actually form petroleum. So within the lifespan of the average human life, you wouldn't be able to renew that resource. So I know I'm breaking it down a little bit to the basic, but very, 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 very important for clean energy. For cleaner energy, what you see is the result of producing that energy, that electricity. What effect does it have on the climate? What effect does it have on the environment? What effect does it have on the people? Effect does it have on the health of the people? I'm going to share my screen and actually show an interesting map. So just let me know when you're able to see my screen. I don't know if I'm able to share screen. Am I able to share my screen, Joseph?
Yes, please, you're able to. You can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Just give me a moment. Awesome. So why should we even be bothered about a clean economy? We might be wondering, of what benefits is it to even think about clean economy? Why should I be bothered? Why should we even be studying this? Why should we be having a masterclass about this? Just let me know when you can actually see the screen. It's coming up. Yeah, why should I be bothered? So in my screen, I'm going to show you something. So we're going to look at the economy. So this is very, very practical. I'm not here to read you some slides that somebody prepared for me. I'm here to show you how to think, how to become an advocate for SDGs. And I'm going to give you some insights that you probably will not learn from a typical classroom. So there's something called equality. And for 21, 22 years, maybe 25 years or 24 years of my life, I lived with allergies. So if you have maybe friends and you've noticed that a lot of them take maybe allergy medicine, when the weather changes, you notice that uh, their eyes get runny, or they are always scratching their eyes or scratching their nose, scratching their ears. If you've noticed that people's health changes with weather a lot, especially particularly in Nigeria. In Lagos, it happens a lot, and it happens in Abuja. And Port Harcourt is actually the worst because you have a lot of refineries producing fumes. You have refineries and you have power generating plants. So in that kind of instance, is that a green economy? Right. And is it powered by renewable energy? Evidently not. But there might be a green economy there. So let's look at it. Let's look at the data. So how we get to this chart, I don't know if you can share it to everyone, Joseph, just to keep the session a little bit interactive in case people want to play with this. Everyone in the meeting. Okay. Yeah. So I'll also put it on YouTube for everyone. So you can also follow live. Yeah. So what is shown on my screen is very simple. And so this is where I am today. You will see something like there is no air quality alert. You will see this here. And how you get this is this is speaking about the weather, the climate of a particular location. Currently where I am in Vancouver, it's in Canada, in North America, you would see a lot of greens. And typically anywhere that is white to green is good, right? But now let's go to Africa. And very quickly, I would like you to let me know what you notice when you look at the map. Remember, let me go back to like America, to Canada. What do you notice? You notice you see a lot of a particular color, right? Well, let's go back all the way to Africa. And you tell me what you begin to notice. Okay, I see some comments. I see some comments. Okay, okay, regulatory framework. Okay, 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 okay. All right, awesome, awesome. Okay, so Africa is red and yellow. Africa is laced with redness. Africa is almost red, 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 red. It's like there's blood everywhere, red and purple. So yes, that's what you can notice. So anywhere that you see um these very deep colors. So do you see this thing called AQI? this number that is changing, AQI 493, you see severe. But let's if you go to somewhere like, let's say, Cross River State, you can see AQI is 34. So this talks about the equality index, and this is one of the results of an economy that is running on clean energy. So if you take Marcodi, for example, and I'm showing you how to think about an economy. So because one of these days you're going to be a leader and you're going to be making decisions either at the company level, at the government level, at the business level. And you will need to know, okay, what is good for business and what is good for the country. So we have dams in Nigeria. Kainji is one of them. There are a couple of other dams, but we run primarily on natural gas plants, which is cleaner energy. It's clean. It's not it doesn't produce so much bad greenhouse gas emissions. But someone said semi hellfire. Okay, so now everywhere looks some places look nice, but let's go into Lagos in particular. I want to show you guys something. So, talking about green economy, right? When we think about green economy, Lagos has a power plant in Ikorodu, right? That's a power plant in Ikorodu, and that power plant uses a natural gas to run, and we can use this map to see the effect of that power plant on the economy of Lagos. Yes, that power plant is producing electricity, but is it producing electricity into a green economy, right? So let's see. If you notice, I don't know if you guys can see my screen very well, but the areas around here, you're seeing a very strong yellow color. Then just surrounding it, you can see a green environment. And what that simply means is, yes, this economy is growing because we now have access to electricity from this power plant that is running on natural gas. It's actually Egbe power plant. I think run by Sahara Energy, if I'm not Sahara Group, if I'm not mistaken. But the economy of Lagos, it's not running on green economy. We have a power plant, but we don't have clean energy at a utility scale. So what do we do as students? What do we do as individuals that have graduated from school? We are thinking of going to school. We are thinking of getting a job. What can you do about information like this? When you get information like this, what do you do? Number one, recognize that there is a problem, right? Many of us know the legendary Elon Musk. I'm going to show you a quote from him. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, we should not demonize oil and gas. I mean, I came from this industry, and if you notice, my presentation approach is very different. I mean, I'm going to open things up for you to see in the real world, and I'm going to show you some of these things. So, for example, Elon Musk has a solar company, he has an electric car company, and he's producing products, electricity and an electric car that are going into a green economy. You might now decide to say, oh wow, so he should hate the oil and gas industry. How should we be thinking about this? How should we be thinking about balancing our energy demand today with our ability to meet our energy demand in the future? Okay, So today, Nigeria has a transition plan. I don't know if many of us have heard of it. Our transition plan essentially says we are going to use natural gas as our transition fuel for the next roughly 50 years till 2060, 2070, where Nigeria is aiming to be net zero. And we are planning to use gas to do that. And now, every single person here, if you hear that plan, I mean, it's not a really bad plan, but you can open this map now because there is a natural gas plant here. What would you tell if you're going to vote or if you're invited to AIT or channels or CNN or BBC to speak? What would you advise the policymakers to consider? Because this yellow that we are seeing here, one of the core reasons is the way energy is generated in that environment. I wanted to zoom into another place, but okay, maybe I shouldn't. Let me not go that far. I think you get the point. So by the time you move, further up north, you just see that the air quality just gets worse, and there is a trend here. So I would close this tool now. Let me reshare. Let me stop sharing. Okay. So we want to become SDG advocates. Today, I've shown you one way to check something very simple, which is health quality, air quality, right? Now, I'm going to show you one more thing, very, very practical, and that is some tools that either the Nigerian government or some international organizations like SE for All, Sustainable Energy for All, have created to help you. You can tinker around. It's free. You can access it. No, the session is not ended for those that are asking. A free tool that you can actually access and play with to learn more about clean energy, right? Okay. So some of these tools, they are available online, and you can sign up to just access them, and it will help you to understand what's the clean and renewable energy potential of Africa, what's the renewable energy potential of Lagos, of a particular community, um, and you can even estimate like, oh, how much will it cost to generate power? Because if you are present financially in Nigeria, you can tell that the cost of things like food is going up. The purchasing power of your money is going down. Why are these things happening? Is because Nigeria is not producing as much as we're supposed to produce. How do you produce more? You need power, you need electricity. Companies like MTN, they just reported a loss. I think they lost maybe like $100 million. I don't remember how much they lost, but MTN lost some money, significant amount of money this last quarter. And a lot of the reason they cited was high cost of operating. And when you check a lot of these things, it was really tied to the cost of power, which was petrol, which was diesel, which was natural gas. So if we want to fix a national problem, if the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network is really trying to make an impact, I really like us to think very critically. Number one, how does our actions affect not only just economy, but how does it affect our environment? How does it affect health? Because if you have sick people, what's now happened is you have a community with 100 generators. All of them are emitting greenhouse gases, carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. And you come there, you sleep overnight. All of them are running their generators. That is not a green economy. That might be, I might even call it a black economy. You wake up, you've inhaled so much fumes, you have to go and spend a lot of money in a pharmacy to treat yourself. So that's money, time, energy, productivity that is lost because of the source of generating power. So yes, there are obvious challenges to going green, for example. And I think it is the responsibility of everybody to come together and see how can we actually make this work. There are ways to make it work. There are great companies that are trying to pioneer made in Nigeria solar panels, for example, assembled in Nigeria. One company that I know that is doing this is a company called Oxano. They didn't pay me to do this. One great company that is doing this is actually called Oxano Solar. Maybe I should message them and ask them to come and pay for this free advertisement. So Oxano Solar, for example, is one company that is pioneering a green economy in Nigeria, in Africa. And what are they trying to do? They are trying to actually manufacture and assemble photovoltaic panels for solar. Because one thing that I noticed, for example, is a lot of people would say, these things are expensive. How would we do solar? How would we afford it? Yes, right now, Nigeria is important, but it will get to a point where this is the first privately owned, at least they claim they are the first privately owned PV manufacturing company in Nigeria, and they are trying to set up that facility. If you see, they work with a couple of industry partners like Olon, like Bank of Industry, like IHA Stars, and if you want to learn more how you can actually contribute, for example, and if you're an entrepreneur, you might think, oh, how do I add value to the supply chain? How do I uh how do I create additional value in this market? If you're a student, you might be thinking, oh, in addition to my courses, can I learn a little bit more about how solar panels are actually manufactured? There are Coursera courses, there are YouTube videos, there are more structured trainings. If you're a technician, let's say you're doing a HND or you're doing like a technical degree, how can I participate in this market? Right? These are some of the questions you might want to ask. So at the end of this session, for example, you should be able to have a brief overview. PV is photovoltaic, right? PV is photovoltaic, just solar panels. That's what it just means. So talking about like accessibility and finance, for example, one way to think about it is investors. How should investors be looking at this space, right? And what are the long-term prospects? Does it make economic sense? And from experience, yes, while capital costs might be a little bit more expensive, one thing about solar is once you have installed it, for example, renewable energy, is it can last for, let's say, 20 years, 25 years, 15 years. And not just solar. I think we need more pioneers. We need more people picking an interest in other technologies. I would spend this last maybe few minutes that I have to give you an insight into the trends that we're seeing in the clean energy industry and in the green economy. So there is a lot of money in this business. And let me just show you. Let me just show you. So just let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, can see your screen.
Awesome. So for example, I mean, how many of us here know Jeff Bezos? Okay. Yeah, okay, I've seen some answers. So I mean in early 2020, this was when COVID was really just getting its engine running. Bezos, through the Bezos Earth Fund, which is a lot of sustainability, focused on climate change, focused on green economy, focused on renewable energy. They really pledged, $10 billion over a decade to fight the impact of climate change. I'll show you another opportunity, right? Just to let you know that there's a lot of commitment in this space. So I will show you another opportunity called breakthrough energy. So breakthrough energy, for example, I think they gathered a fund of what's another $10 billion. And what they do is, okay, yeah, awesome. So these breakthrough energy ventures, and they're actually Nigerian companies that have collected money, have raised money, institutional finance from breakthrough ventures. Breakthrough ventures is backed by Bill Gates Foundation, for example, by the Bill Gates empire. And what are they really interested in? They're interested in energy companies that are trying to break through the realms of innovation. So if you have an idea, if you're someone who is enterprising, you want to solve a problem. I think during COVID, I saw people try to develop a generator that runs on water, for example. If you're an enterprising person, this is a fund size. They have gathered over 2.25 billion US dollars, and they are, investing this money in entities, in people that have great ideas. So there is opportunity in the space. I think there's space for growth. Our regulation in Nigeria is starting to get stronger. Policy is starting to become more favorable for us. We saw the introduction, for example, of the Electricity Act, where federal government was the only one that was able to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. But today, what do we see? We see states, policy change. Policy has created opportunity. I don't know how many of us saw the new power plant that was recently just commissioned in Abia State. Okay, I can't get to live responses, but yeah, that was a huge success. Yes, it took about 20 years to get that project off the ground, and it's a natural gas project, slightly cleaner energy, helps the productive nature of the economy, but we need to learn how to champion our voices. We need to understand the different energy sources, which one is clean, what are the benefits of one over the other. Not just here to, if I'm here to just present some slide and you would slip off. I don't know if that would be value to you, but value to you today. At the end of this session, you've been able to see a tool that could help you understand the air quality in any region in the world. You've been able to be exposed to some companies doing local manufacturing of solar, or trying to do local manufacturing of solar in Nigeria. We've been exposed to the opportunities to actually raise funding. We've been exposed to the fact that policy is changing in Nigeria to actually support the development of cleaner energy. In fact, former Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, we actually had an event in Dubai. So I was invited to speak at Dubai at COP28. And the Vice President was the one that opened the session, because I think he chairs, is it the energy transition? I'm not quite sure, but he sits on a lot of committees and governing bodies that focus on renewable energy. Okay, the name of the tool. Someone is asking what's the name of the tool. So I put in the link there. If someone can just maybe help repost it for Moses, just repost it. I think somebody in the comment section should be able to help out. So yeah, we've been able to see how the world is shifting towards clean energy, towards a green economy. Nigeria is not yet there, for example. Nigeria is not quite yet there because we have so many competing national interests. Things like agriculture. We still have a food crisis. People that have not eaten properly will not be thinking about how clean is my energy source. As long as I have light 24/7, I'm actually good. Whether you're giving me this energy from a clean source or you're giving me from coal or it's generator, as long as it's electricity, I'm fine. So we have to meet people's basic fundamental human needs, and but there are ways to actually do it as an advocate while advocating for clean energy. The way I see it, clean energy is the catalyst. It's the fulcrum that you can use to unlock a lot of other industries, because every industry in Nigeria depends on energy to some extent or the other. We believe that there is a time where we can power entire cities with renewable and clean energy. I believe it is possible, where you have solar farms, where you have wind farms, where you have clean hydrogen, right? And I'm just going to leave you with this. If you're interested in learning more about the space, if you're interested in learning more about the space, you should look at technologies that are upcoming. So one thing that is upcoming, for example, is the carbon market. I don't have enough time to touch on it. We're actually out of time, just in the interest of time. Carbon markets, electric vehicles. We have already seen some electric vehicles in Lagos, in Nigeria, in Abuja also. It would increase over the next couple of years, maybe not as quickly as other regions like Europe and North America, but it will start to become a thing because people that can afford it would first introduce it, then investments would come in and expand the space. All On 2 is doing great work. SE for All is doing great work. They have great tools. Free, they are available for you to use to play around. So I hope this has been helpful. This has been a helpful introduction to you to the world of renewable energy and the green economy. I didn't just want to present some slides that you can forget tomorrow. I wanted to leave you with a mindset that can think critically about what is the source of my energy? Is this clean energy? Is this renewable energy? What is the impact on the environment beyond just electricity generation? How is it affecting health? What tools can I use? What opportunities exist? And I do trust that this was a valuable and impactful session. So I'll just invite Joseph back. I know that I used like 6-7 minutes over the time. So maybe we can just get a few questions if you were able to catch any, and we can, yeah. I hope it was a good one so far.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Isaiah. We've had a great time learning and gleaning from your wealth of experience in this session, and we're indeed grateful. We want to thank you for your time on behalf of SDSN, on behalf of the leadership of SDSN. We really want to appreciate you for coming out to do this for the advocates. We're really appreciative of it. Okay, so yes, straight to the questions. Okay, you've actually enlightened a lot of advocates, you've educated them, and I'm sure you've spurred their interest to want to learn more about clean energy and how it affects the environment, the economy, and their health as a whole. So yeah, thank you for spurring that interest in them. And I know that moving on, they would begin to now find things around them to look to say, okay, this should be done this way, this should not be done this way, and stuff like that. So thank you so much for that. And if you have questions, you can just begin to drop them on the YouTube space so that Isaiah can see them and respond to them as quickly
I know
as he
I
can.
was
So
seeing
please
a
questions.
couple.
Okay. So please go ahead.
I saw a couple. They are actually very, very active. So it's really flying very quickly. And It's really, really flying very quickly. So it was difficult picking out all of them actually. So if you did have a question and you would like me to get it answered, please just retype it. I know you possibly typed it before. I know you typed it before. Please just type it and I will get to it immediately. So maybe while I wait, I would, okay, the tools, please don't forget. Okay, thank you for bringing value. Okay, awesome. So one last, I'll give you guys a bonus. Who doesn't like a bonus? Do you guys want the bonus? Joseph, should I give them the bonus or we should call it a day? I think I'll give them the bonus. All right. So if you
Is somebody saying we should call it a day?
Oh, someone said we should call it a day. I wanted to give them bonanza, extra points. It seems that they don't want, so let me remove my bonus. Okay, they're asking about the tool. So this one is the one of the best tools you can actually find to learn more. So it's called the Integrated Energy Planning Tool, and it was actually developed for 2 countries. How do you find the tool? I'll copy the link. Let me copy the link and place in the YouTube. I don't know if there's a way to pin it so that people can get access to it. I've sent you I've also posted the link, Joseph, for them to be able to access. Yeah. So the link is sdg7energyplanning.org, right? So if you see the tool, for example, on my page, it was built by Rockefeller Foundation with support, Global Energy Alliance. These are industry juggernauts. They have billions of dollars to invest in energy, clean energy, and they created a tool to analyze the energy landscape in Nigeria and in Malawi. So if you open it up, I can send you login details. I can send you the login details. Joseph, maybe we can connect and I can share it to you and you can get it across to them. I'm sure you possibly have their emails or a way of communicating with them. Is that correct? Okay, I don't know if Joseph is here, but I would share it with him. And you should get these tools. Um, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, just maybe to show you what the tool looks like so that you can be wowed by it. So you can see this was actually created in partnership with the federal government of Nigeria, powered by Sustainable Energy for All. We have Rockefeller Foundation. This was one of the richest men in America at some point, and he made his money from, if you know Chevron, ExxonMobil, Shell, all those companies, they came from that one man. His company broke into 7 and formed that oil and gas empire. So on this tool, you can see electricity demand, clean cooking demand, infrastructure, solar home systems, where are mini grid sites, where are there roads in Nigeria, where is the electricity grid, where is network connectivity, right? For example, if I go into Ebonyi, I can I can really see, oh, what's the best way to electrify this community in Ebonyi? Oh, what's their electricity demand in this place, right? There is a user manual so that you can learn more about how to use the tool. So, for example, you see all the data. If you want to understand a particular village, you're trying to do research, or you're trying to create a business, and you want to understand a particular village or use case, this would really help you. So I really hope this was practical, this was helpful. I've sent the link. I'll send the login details to Joseph. If you want to learn more, you can follow me on LinkedIn. And thank you so much for your time. I think we're already at the hour, so I would just hand over to Joseph, and we can call it a day. Yeah. Okay, so they will love the tools. Okay, I'll share that with him. How can our country mitigate the problem of renewable energy to empower the youth, creating green economic opportunities? Joseph, are you here? I know you possibly might have a
I'm
hard
with
stop,
you.
so I
Yeah,
don't know where or how whether I can take any questions particularly.
you
Yeah.
can you can take that particular question. Yes.
Oh, okay, great. So, for those that want to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn. My name is Fisayo Adeyemi. You can find me on you can find me on LinkedIn. Send me a connection request. Just mention that you were at the uh SDSN session and you attended. Just mention it briefly, and I would be glad to connect with you. If you have any questions that I've not answered here live, I will be also glad to take it up in conversation. So yeah, that question was, how can our country mitigate the problem of renewable energy and to empower the youth, creating green economic opportunities, right? Okay. So it depends on who you're asking the question. That's the truth. Are you asking a politician? Are you asking a university? You said, how can our country, right? Are you asking the youth? Because what is a country? A country is the sum total of its people, right? People are in governments, people are the ones being led, people are the ones, starting businesses, people are the ones starting universities and high school. So if I was going to answer your question, how can our country mitigate the problem of renewable energy and empower the youth, creating green economic opportunities? I would say the first step is education, right? It seems very obvious, but one cardinal rule is never invest in something you do not understand. A lot of us invested in Bitcoin. We cried hot tears during COVID. Maybe now you're celebrating because it's going up, but you don't know why it's going up. You don't understand what you're investing in. So you should always invest in things that you understand. And before Nigeria needs to go full scale on clean energy, Nigeria, and by Nigeria I mean your lecturer in the university, I mean your employee, your boss in the office, your manager, your supervisor, um, the politician. Okay, I think I'm already seeing people already sending me connection requests. Okay. Everyone needs to spend time to understand the technology, educate yourself, get familiar with some of these tools I'm sharing with you, learn about the opportunities in the space. A lot of people say there is no money, fundraising is tough. Well, there are a lot of opportunities. You just have to learn how to strategically position. So after education, I would say policy is another thing. Okay, maybe I should just minimize this because it's going to get distracting. Policy is another thing, and I think we are starting to see very good policy, some very good policy. But after writing good policy, then there's implementation of policy. So writing good policy enables entrepreneurs, innovators, people that want to innovate to be able to legally do so. Anybody that wanted to build a solar farm last year to power Ajegunle or to power Oshodi or to power Aleshiloye or to power Bodija in Ibadan, that person would have not been able to do it because it was illegal for you. You would have needed to get a license, and then Ibadan Disco is going to fight you, and everyone is going to fight. Even if you had a great idea, policy did not allow you to innovate. So after education, we need to fix policy. We are fixing policy. Now we need to execute and implement on that policy. So if we do these things, honestly speaking, a lot of more players will come into the space. International players would come, local players would come, and it would really just create more opportunities. I think technical courses also help. So we need technicians. Many people want to go to school and you want to become an engineer. Some people don't want to become a technician, but you need, in an economy, you need people who are skilled, who are carpenters, who are welders, who are fabricators. So not just training higher education like universities, we need to have a balanced approach to how we are thinking of upskilling youths. Not everyone is going to learn how to do banking and finance. Somebody is going to need to learn how to install a solar panel on the roof of a house. So the youths might need to be more open to more opportunities depending on their skill sets. So I hope this helps. We're at 2:05. I don't know if there was any other question. And yeah, I hope the session has been good overall.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Isaiah. Brilliant thoughts you've shared. Amazing time we've had. And we are most delighted to associate with you. Thank you so much for this time spent with us and with the advocates. And thank you for your investment. Thank you so very much. Mrs. Lawa is saying amazing session. Wow, Mrs. Lawa, thank you so much. We're grateful you are still here with us. Thank you for staying up until this time. Mrs. Lawal is the representative from SDGs office in Lagos. And yeah, we're excited that you are investing time and doing this with us. We are grateful. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, Fisayo, thank you. And to every advocate, I believe you've had a great time. You've learned so much, and it's been value for your time. Yes, it's been value for your time. So please, like I said in the last at the last session, I said you have a task, which is to highlight the major things you've learned from this session and actually post on social media, get other people to learn a bit of what you have learned, and let's just keep this knowledge moving from one person to the other, so that the goal to achieve SDGs can actually be a reality. So guys, you get a mail with more details about what you should do. And if you have questions, please, Isaiah says you can connect with him on LinkedIn. Please, you have permission to ask your questions. I believe so, Isaiah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Everyone on the call today can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll do my best. They should just mention that they are from SDSN Youth Nigeria, so that I do get a lot of requests. I can just know that they were in this session and I would be able to answer their question. Yeah.
All right. Add a little bit of network issue. I'm back now on the SDSN Nigeria for being a part of this session and actually coming with their heart to learn this morning. We'll definitely connect the way we used to connect. When I send you a mail, you get more updates about the session, about the ones coming up. And please, your task is meant to be done on or before 11:59 p.m. tomorrow morning. Sorry, on or before 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. So just do that on social media. We would see it. That serves as your attendance. All right. We have come to the end of the session. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see next week Friday.
Awesome.
Thank you, Fisai.
Thank you so much, Adebayo Joseph. Yeah, have a good day.